Hello, 5 Minute Friday number 8, and today we're going to look at the humble wobbler, edge finder. I've heard it called them all. Today we're going to call it an edge finder, and this, which is the Haimer 3D taster touch probe, which is a fantastic bit of kit which allows us to datum set in 3 different directions, X, Y and Z, all from the same device. This costs £280, this costs around £10, so it would be really interesting to see the difference between this and how much speed and accuracy it actually gives you over such a simple tool. So we'll start off by having a look at what's in the package. Now, I've never really understood the point of unboxing videos, but here we are about to unbox the universal tester by Haimer. So inside we have a manual. It starts off in German because it's a German company, hence taster rather than tester. And we move into the English where we have a certificate of testing, which shows it's got a repeatability to 0.005 millimeters, which just shows you how accurate this is. Inside the box is the tester itself, and things to note is that it's got a ceramic tip here, so if the worst does happen and you end up having a crash, this tip will fracture to protect the mechanism within the clock. It's supplied without a collet system of any descriptions that you can fit it to your machine. Also, it's supplied is probably one of the longest, strangest Allen keys I've seen, and that is used in this procedure here, whereby you can put a standard DTI against the ball, turn it around to check for concentricity. If it is actually running out, then you can adjust 2 screws, which looks like are in here, 4 screws in fact, to true up that so you can get a true reading. And just to give you a size difference, that's our 3D taster and that's our standard wiggler, and we're talking 3 times at least the difference in price. So let's find out exactly the difference on the machine. So now I've got both of the edge finders set up in an R8 system with an ER40 collet. Just a point to note though, is that this obviously will move around in a circle, and we'll have to test out the 3 axes individually and set it on the DRO, whereas this will move in the Y-axis, the X-axis and the Z-axis, all from the same probe. One other thing that we don't need to think about when using the Haimer test probe is the fact that this is already calibrated with the diameter of the ball in mind. Not the case, obviously, with the normal edge finder. So what we'll need to do is take a measurement, and I believe this one's 1/4 inch, which is a little bit awkward considering we work in a metric, so that, yeah, 6.35, which is 0.25 inches. So that's something else to take into account. Okay, so my test methodology, if you want to call it that, is going to be to put a piece of stock in, and this is the stock we used the other week for the PCD and linear array on the DRO. There'll be a link up in the top somewhere. We'll stick that in the vise. I'm going to clock it up using the touch sensor first, because I know that's going to be accurate, and get a time off that. Reset it. Do it the same with the edge finder, which is going to take a little bit longer than I'd expect. Swap it out after changing the DRO, and then test the accuracy with the edge finder, with the Haimer touch sensor. So we're going to get, hopefully, a reasonably fair test of both speed and accuracy. Let's give that a go. So this is interesting. Straight away, there is a difference in that one is quite a bit longer than the other. The taster, you need a bit more room. So perhaps in some areas, that few millimeters difference could make the difference, but not in this job, so we'll carry on. Okay, so we'll start the test. Stick a stopwatch on. I'll include the time taken over to change the collet, because in theory that could be a little bit different due to the weight and the extra awkwardness of the touch probe. That and you go so much slower because you're scared of dropping it. So we'll get that started. Go. Okay, that's Z0. X0. Right, so I think it's safe to say that I'm not going to be getting a job in a Formula 1 pit team in time soon, especially those of you who just saw me reset the X in the wrong position because I missed the button. Just goes to show working under pressure is a little bit hard, so we'll do the same. Oh, that was 2 minutes 30 seconds. We'll do the same with the wiggler, edge finder, and we'll go from there. Right, so wiggler in, it's running about 1300 speed. Start the stop clock. I don't have to, there's no method of touching off in Z. Admittedly, there wasn't really any point in doing that, other than the fact I could, useful CNC, or if you're running a tool offset table on the DRO. I'll reset, and we'll get started, but already my test methodology is starting to fall apart a little bit. Hopefully we'll get the idea though. So I'll do some close-ups of this as well so we can see what's going on. Start. So the idea is to get it somewhere near, and then just reset it as it kicks. So it's starting to true up. That's pretty true. So it's gone there. 0, Y, crossing X. Got my eye in now, there we go. 0, and that's done. 150. So then the check now is to get the touch sensor back in. We'll keep those, I'm out of breath, we're going to keep those datums in there, and we should be able to do a direct comparison of exactly how accurate it is. Actually not as much difference in speed as I thought. I guess one of the big advantages of the Haimer touch sensor is you get it in a CNC, it's one tool, and you check in your whole tool table off just one tool. So you're getting, for every tool change, you're getting that many more time savings. So interesting. And I've just realised that I didn't set the minus 6.35, which just goes to show that there's another thing that you've got to think of with these. So let's get it swapped over. I'll adjust the DRO and we'll go from there. Right, so I've swapped over. Moment of truth time. Let's find out just how far off we were. And I realise that my scientific method is woeful. On the wiggler test, on the edge finder test, I actually forgot to include the time taken to change the collet. So turns out maybe the Haimer touch probe is about a third faster after all. So let's have a look on the accuracy, because this thing is going to be ruthlessly repeatable. So we'll get it somewhere near, go around once, twice, and in X we are about 0.1 away. So again, I was doing it really quickly, so I'm not going to get the best results. Let's go for Y. Quite why I didn't use the rapid feed to begin with. Remember that for next time. And that's the one that I didn't reset. So again, that's about 0.1 away. It was very, very rough test, but done at speed and with very little care or attention to scientific rigor. But this is very, very repeatable. Less so with the 10-pound tool. But if the kind of work that you're doing isn't for mega tolerances, you just need to get somewhere near, then this is just fine. And you know, the more skilled machinists are going to be able to get very, very close with this. So that was quite a good comparison. I like this for CNC because you can do the Z as well, and it updates the whole tool table, and you're very sure, and it's the same every single time. Whereas if the job's not important, you need to get somewhere near, this is going to do the trick. So that was an enjoyable, if not slightly exhausting, 5-Minute Friday. If you like these videos, then make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. See you next week.